find easy seated pose. Just allow your body to settle in. If you want to sit with your warrior seat, you're welcome to do that as well. But whatever your body would like to do, my knees don't want to do that. We've already gotten 5 miles in this morning. So find that place where you can connect into the sits bones, lift into the heart space. Make sure your mic is turned off. Someone has their mic still on, so just make sure. Feel the eyes close. And just calling yourself to the present moment. Letting go of the list that you've already created for your day. For this next hour is just to nurture yourself. Maybe take a moment to establish an intention. Maybe something that grants you permission to simply take care of yourself for this hour. Just a simple phrase. Notice how your breath is this morning. And find the connection, deep inhalation with the breath. And filling the body and then exhaling anything that isn't serving you right now. And bring your hand heart centered. Hold your intention here in your heart space, a simple phrase. Repeat it in your mind's eye 3 times. Uniting our voices across the airways and sound of Om, taking an inhale. And then sending greetings to each other, bowing down. Make your way down onto your backs. Take your feet out wide and roll the shoulders down. Let the palms face up. This is corpse's pose. Take a moment to just let whatever isn't working for you today already, just let it just fall out of your body. Any negativity. And notice maybe where the body holds tension. The body might have some aches. And then fold your knees in and give yourself a hug where you can. If you need to, hands can go up onto the shins. Notice how that feels. Bring the hands to the back of the head, let the elbows go out. And let your head be down onto the mat. Open out through the legs like a V and start to fold to one side and then let your knee fold on top. And the top leg's going to come up as you come more to the center. Fold over to the other side and then close it off. Inhale, lifting the top knee, guides the movement into that V, and then you fold it in. One more time to the other side. And then come back into center. Lift the legs up, give them a little shake. And maybe support at the knees. Soften, wiggle in the toes. And then heels move towards the buttocks, hands to the back of the thighs. And start to rock front to back. And see if you can rock yourself up into a boat pose where you just kind of hold here. If you need to, roll it back again and do it again. You can let your feet touch the mat, lift up to the belly, maybe take those arms out. Working on core strength here. Choose to stay here, you can take and wrap those arms underneath your thighs if you need to. And lift. You can go more and more. You can extend the arms out, they can go up over. Are you breathing? Cross the legs and come into all fours. Feather out the fingers and roll the shoulders down, lift up into the belly. And then start to move your tailbone up, belly down, and open through the chest. And then exhale the tailbone down, navel in, and roll the chin towards the chest. Inhale to lift, the belly is going down, open the chest. And exhale, folding it into yourself. Good in. Come into neutral, send your hips back to your heels, the knees can be wide or narrow. You can stack your fists under your head. You can put a pillow there or a block. And then make your way on up. You can put a blanket under your knees here if you'd like. Don't make it too thick. I use a blanket in these positions. You don't want them to be too thick because that can also make your balance go off. So just coming up onto the knees. If this is uncomfortable, you can come to standing. So lift up through the trunk. You're wanting to open that hip crease a little bit, a little tonus around through the buttocks, roll the shoulders down, lift up through the crown of the head. And then taking one leg out to the side as we move into gate, the heel can go up, the toe can go down, and the foot can go parallel. Lift up out of your waist and drop the arms down. Inhale to sweep the arms up. And then exhale, bring the arm towards the extended leg and then fold towards its side. Good, and then returning, hands can come to the hips as you move the leg back inside. Top the feet down on the mat, moving into child's pose. Or forward fold if you move to a standing position. Good, and then coming back up. Roll the shoulders down, open the hip crease, step your other foot out to the side. Remember, many variations. You can have your heel up here, your toe pointed down or parallel. Drop the arms down. Inhale and reach those arms up. And then bring the hand down towards the extended leg side and then fold towards it. And breathe. So you're not doing yoga if you're not breathing, so just find your breath. And then returning, hands to the hips, and then moving into child's pose. And then bring the hands to the hips, open the hip crease, lift up to the trunk, and then move the hands into the heart. Okay, from this position, you're going to take your right leg forward and then settle into the energy of the legs, but lift up out of the waist and the hip. Reach the arms up and a low lunge. Your back foot can be on the ball of the foot or the top of the foot. Move the hands down to the heart and rotate towards that right side. And breathe. Choose to stay here or hinge from the hip with the long trunk. Bring the left elbow to the outside of the right side. Good, unwind, release. You can use blocks here if you'd like. A stack of books works as well. Keep the toes down on the mat. Slide your hip back, extending that right leg. It doesn't have to be completely straight. Move the toes to the shin. The knee can be bent here. It's more important that your spine is nice and extended and you're not pulling the low back. And as soon as you're feeling the opening in the hamstring, you around. As long as you can breathe. And then shifting forward, take that leg back. Lift up through the trunk, open the hip crease. Bring the hands to the heart. And then take a step forward with your left leg. Open through the groins. Energy out through those legs, lifting up through the hips and reach the arms up. Bring the hands to the heart, rotating towards that left side, wherever you can. If that means all you can do is this, okay? If you need to, you can bring your hand here and just give a gentle twist. Never an ouch, always an ah. Choose to stay there or hinge with the long trunk. Bring the elbow outside of that left leg. Press the palms together. Drop the shoulders away from the head and the ears. And then unwind. You can bring your hands on down or you can use a block or books. Send the hip back, keep the toes down on the mat. Move the toes to the shin. And you can be bent. Feel that in the belly of the hamstring. And shifting forward. Step that leg back. And then, if you've got your blanket there, go ahead and roll it. And come up onto the balls of your feet. You can move that blanket to the side. And then bring your heels down to the mat and move into forward fold. Belly is touching your thighs. Head relaxing forward. There's no tension in the low back. There's no pain. All you've got here is the weight of your trunk, creating some traction in your spine. Move the hands to the shins, root down the legs, extend your spine, making a kind of a pike position. Take the arms out to the side. This is a little more load. Root down the feet and frame the head in mountain. Open the hip crease. And then move the hands down to the side body. And then take a step forward. And so we've been sitting a lot, which makes our hip flexors tight, our hamstrings tight. It also makes our legs weak. So we'll work on just a few layers of squats here today, making sure that you're never loading into your knees, so be really kind to your knees. So right now, find mountain pose, so you feel the weight through all four corners of your feet. And then see if you can then maybe lift the toes and find that place. It's just a perfect place where everything seems to fit and lift up out of the legs from your feet. Then let your toes go down. Good. Now find that position. Stay where you're at. I'm turning to the side so you'll see. So you want to lift up out of your waist, bring your hands to your heart, and then kind of feel the energy by the heels. Send your hips down like you're sitting into a chair. So you wouldn't put your butt, you wouldn't curl your low back like that to sit into a chair. You're just going to keep it in neutral and start to send your hips down so your sits bones are moving down towards the chair. Okay, so you're wanting to kind of see the tips of your toes here, and your arms could go out. And are you breathing? Arms can reach up. This is more load. Move the hands to the heart and take your right leg straight back for crescent lunge. You're on the ball of the foot. Then reach those arms up. Bring the hands down the heart, rotating to the left, and then take the arms out to the side if that works for you. Reach the arms up, plant the back foot down, and open into warrior two, opening the hip. Straightening the front leg. Bring your feet so they're parallel. Then bring your heels in. Knees track towards your toes and reach the arms up as you move into goddess, sinking down. Keep a neutral spine without pulling that low back out. Tuck it under. Open through the chest. Press the feet. Open those legs, straighten your legs, bring the hands to hips. Move your feet to parallel. Push off the back leg, come to the front of the mat. Drop the arms down. Inhale, reach those arms up. Interlace the fingers if that works for you, or keep the arms wide. Fold one way, half moon. Back to center. And go to the other side. And return, open. Close the eyes, soften the knees. Take a moment to feel. Feel the blood rushing through your body. Let your breath flow to calm the blood pressure. To the front of your mat again. Hands to the heart, tuck the shoulder blades down. Find all four corners of your feet. Move a little bit to the heels. And then send the buttocks down. Arms can go out, they don't have to. This is more work. Arms can go up. This is more work. Tailbone under. Now tucking back. Bring the hands to the heart. Left foot straight back for crescent lunge. Reach the arms up. Front knees tracking toward the second toe. You're on the ball, foot on the back leg. Move the hands to the heart, rotating towards that right side. Choose to stay there. Take the arms out to the side. Keep the front knee tracking towards that second toe. Good, bring it up. Plant the back foot down, open into warrior two, balance out your hips. So no kicking back, bring it up under. And breathe. Your back foot's on the floor now completely. Straighten the front leg. And pivot the foot around, feet are parallel. Turn your heels in. Knees track towards the toes, reach the arms up, switch the arms up. And sink down, keep the shoulder over the hips, not pushing that hip back, bring it up under. Feel the energy from the ground lifting up through your trunk, open out wide through your chest. Open those fingers, spread them out. Straighten the legs. Hands to the hips, feet go parallel. Push off the back leg, bring the feet together at the front of the mat. Drop the arms down. Breathe. Reach the arms all the way up. Arms can frame the head. You can interlace the fingers. Send the hip one way, the arms the other. Half moon. And return, other side. And return. Relax the hands to the side body, soften the knees. Take a moment to feel. And then facing. So we're going to move into eagle. There's so many things you can do here to make it an easier way to exist. I'll show you using the blocks, and you don't even need to use the blocks, but you can. Let's start finding the shoulders. Eagle arm is a great opener for your neck and your back. So take the arms out to the side, open the chest, drop the shoulders. And then wrapping around, so you wanted to get the right elbow over the left. Maybe you're going to stay here. And if you're here, drop your hands can hold on to your shoulders and drop down. You could also bring the arms so they touch. You could wrap them, but never torque the wrists. You could wrap them, finding an ease there. Elbows can go to the height of your shoulders. Find what works for you. You should never feel like you have to be in shape. And then the squat feeling, so finding all four corners of your feet, lower a little to the heels and sit down into that squat. So take your right leg out to the side and then lift it up. Maybe you're just going to place it in front of the left. It can be on the block or the ground. You could slide it all the way over, but your knee needs to be bent. And you could place it on a block or the ground. You can wrap it all the way around to the back of the leg, if that's open. Today it's not open for me, so if it's for you, go there. Good, and then push through, open. Be still and breathe. So you can move the block over to the other side. Again, you can just choose to put your foot on the ground here. Come nice and tall. And open through the chest. Let your wings spread out. And then wrapping around as best you can, get that left elbow over the right. Maybe you hold at your shoulders. When you're doing this, try not to feel those shoulders lifting. Drop them down. Maybe you bring the back of your hands and forearms together. Or maybe you're able to wrap one more layer, but never torquing. It's not worth it. Lifting the elbows the height of your shoulders. Find all four corners of your feet, a little low to the heels. And then start to sink down into that chair, Uttanasana, tail on under. And then take your left leg out to the side. Maybe you place it on the block, or maybe you place it in front. You can let them touch. You can also cross it all the way over, placing it on the block. You want to sit down into that chair. Squeeze your inner thighs. And ready to fly out. Relax and breathe. If you use the gear, you can set it aside. Take the arms out and lift up. And then hinge from the hip. Belly to the thigh. Bring the hands to the shins. Lengthen out of the waist. Feel it moving from the navel to the top of the head, from the navel down to the hips. Belly is on your thighs. Choose to flex forward. If you're having sinus issues or you have osteoporosis, stay in spinal extension with the head. Come into extension, bend your knees, plant the hands down. So you can kind of crawl yourself back, or if you want to add a little hop here, you can. To do that, you want to bend and hop. And be nice and gentle when you land. Choose to go down on the knees here. Feel your belly rising. Slowly descend. And one hand on top of the other. Turn your head, splay the feet. And just take a moment to notice your breath, your heart beating against the floor. And bringing the hands under the shoulders, we'll move into Cobra. So it's kind of based on your anatomy. So if you tend to be bigger in the chest, you might need to be on your chin. You can be on your forehead. Some people also put a blanket or a block here if they're bigger in the chest. Feather the fingers. Pull your shoulders towards your ears and then bring the scapula down, so roll those shoulders down. Let the top of the feet press down to the mat, feel your kneecaps lift. And pubic bone drops, and breathe an inhalation to the first stage. The ribs are still on the mat. Envision yourself the cobra coming out of the basket. There are no arms in a cobra. And then let that go. Turn your head maybe the other way, just for a moment. Splay the feet. And then returning to the preparation position. Shoulders down. Inhale and exhale to drop that pubic bone and let your breath carry you to the first stage with the ribs on the mat. Carry to the navel on an inhale. Carry to the pubic bone on an inhale. The hands aren't in charge, the arms aren't in charge, the core is. And let it go. Turn your head, split the feet. Relax the arms. And choose if you'd like to go into downward dog, child's pose, or if you want to roll on your back and hug your knees into your chest. So to go into downward dog, press the palms down, maybe coming through that plank, soften the knees and send the hips back and up. Wrap the armpits up and under, not pushing into the shoulders. Feel your lat muscles of your back really stabilizing you in the pose and your core. Check the fingers, you're all the way spread out and down. Make your way around onto your buttocks. Take your legs forward. It's storming here in Charleston. It's beautiful. Okay, so for this next one, you can use blanket under your hip. You can also bring your blocks in. A bolster or a big pillow, a couch pillow, can also be helpful. Isn't it great we have all those tools in our home? And we didn't even know we had all that yoga equipment. So I'll demonstrate with all of these. So you might sit up on the edge of a blanket in the seated wide angle. What's important is that you're long in your trunk, so you don't want to feel yourself wrapped down like this. If that's happening, bend the knees and get yourself nice and tall. This is more important than legs being straight and the back being pulled out, okay? So you could use blocks here. And the great thing is, you know, they come in high, medium, and low, all right? So be where you need to be. And then lift up out of the waist. You're wanting to feel an opening through the inner thighs here. Feel a little energy down into the balls of the feet, keeping the toes raised up. And then start to hinge forward, okay? So you can move out, you could come down on the forearms here. Notice the back stays in extension, right? So you could be using blocks here. The other great thing is that you could use a bolster and let your hip move forward from there. And you're getting this opening and stretch, and you're getting some stability in the core here. Whatever feels right. Keep those toes moving up. A stability ball could also be used here. You can hear the rumbling in the background. That's the thunder rumbling in my house. It's pretty nice. And then bring yourself back up and set the gear to the side. And bring those legs inside and give just a little easeful shake. Okay, so you can use equipment for the next pieces that we're going to do. You could use blocks, one or two. You could use a blanket. I recommend kind of folding it kind of that thick. Or you could use the bolster. We're going to move into a bridge pose. So there's all these options, and I'll set this bolster over here. Okay. So, and a strap is also helpful here as well. So you take the strap, we're going to move it into a more restorative. So if you're using a strap, you could put it underneath you, and you got to have it free between your hips and your heels. And when you bring your feet in, you want to have your knees comfortable here. So I've had folks that have knee replacements, and so they have to have one knee out a little more than the other. It's all about comfort here, okay? You're not wanting to have to feel like you have to reach for your ankles, because look what happens to my knees now, okay? Because it's all about differences in anatomy of our arms, so I might not be able to wrap around without making my knee torque. Keep your knees aligned with your second toe and your hip points, and your heels as close to your buttocks as your knees will allow, and they're comfortable. And then squeeze your shoulder blades together. The back of your head is down on the mat. It's plumb line from your third eye, okay? And you've got a nice little give in your neck here, so there's a give in your neck. Okay, and you're reaching towards your feet, but you don't have to touch them ever. You don't have to necessarily touch them like I can. My arms are just longer. Root down into the feet and start to lift the hips up, keeping those knees aligned with your hip points, not letting them splay out. And then maybe lift a little more. And you could use the strap here if you have tight shoulders. I recommend taking it, letting the palms face each other. Okay, so thumbs are up, and the back of the palm is down. Or you could interlace those fingers and feel that lift. Nice back bend, able to breathe. And then starting to let it go. And before you do anything, just be still. Maybe hug both knees into the chest and give a gentle bump. All right, so next one, you could use the blocks, a blanket or the bolster. As we move into an inversion, we'll move from a bridge position first. It's much better to go to bridge and then lift your hips and put the gear under you than trying to put the gear down and roll on top of it. So you press down the feet and then lift up and either slide the block right under your sacrum. So notice it's right under my sacrum. I don't have it tucked down here, that would hurt. I don't have it all the way up here, that would hurt. You want it right on the sacrum. It should feel like you're feeling supported, there's no ouchies. And then you can stay here if that's a word. English teachers, please help me out. And then just be still for a moment in this restorative place. You could use a bolster here as well. You could go into bridge. Where you're at, hips on the ground, that's fine too. Bring those legs up and then lift them straight up as you move into Viparita Karani. This is just legs up variation. You could take a strap and hold on to those feet. You could have the strap down like you had before and give a tug. Keep the chest lifted, the neck lifted. So the back of the head is on the floor, the neck is lifted. Okay, bend the knees and let your left leg extend out. Wherever it feels okay, you can interlace your fingers onto that right shin. You could do this on the ground here if it's uncomfortable on the blocks. Just go back to bridge, lift your hips, take the gear out. And release both knees in. When you're ready to let your right leg go down. It could stay bent here just a little bit. You could extend out more. Whatever feels good. Again, you could do this on your back. Then starting to let go. Knees are bent, like you're in that bridge place, and then lift your hips. Take the gear out. Come on down. Take a moment to feel. Let the soles of your feet touch and splay the knees out. You could put blocks, blankets, or couch pillows underneath these sides of your legs here. Guide those legs back together or use more core strength by bringing them back on your own. Let the legs extend. Let them go wide for just a moment and soften. And then bring those knees in, roll to the side. You're going to make a choice here for this next round. You can either use the blanket rolled long or short. Just take it and roll the blanket tight. And or you could use the block here. And I'm going to turn so you can see this. So your spine's going to go down alongside that, or you could have the block, which would be about here. Okay? And you're going to tuck yourself up to the blanket so that it's right here at your sacrum. Your hips are going to stay on the floor, and then slide over the top of that. And then you can let your legs kind of splay out. You can also take the top of that blanket if you've got the kind of edgy end there where there's lots of edges. You can tuck it around and slide it under your, right up under the atlas and the axis right there behind the back of the spine there, the top of the spine, and then let your arms relax. I recommend letting them kind of slide by the hips instead of all the way out or up. And just let your shoulders empty. And then breathe. Just feel the weight of your spine letting go onto that blanket, that block. Find your breath, find your inhale, maybe your hold, and a long exhalation, and maybe retain the breath. And then inhale. Maybe being reminded of your intention here, letting it infuse into your body with the breath. One more deep inhale. Feel the body letting go on the exhale. And then bend your knees. Let your body roll to one side. And then we'll move into a seated spinal twist here. And so you can sit here with legs crossed, okay? That's one option for this twist. Or you could take your legs and move around to the side. Lift up out of your waist. And then you're going to bring this back leg's arm around to the other knee and then move into a twist. And stay there and breathe. Just continuing to breathe. Letting your body breathe, and we're going to take and move that back around. And then come back around and just relax into a hammock for a moment. Maybe crisscross the legs. And then just another way to open that. So back to the same side. So you might actually reach for the ankle on that back leg and maybe just move that leg around, okay? So maybe you're just gonna create this little lift, and all you're trying to do is open this a little bit, so just, that's all it is. Okay, now some of you are gonna be able to bring it up more, some of you are gonna be able to bring it all the way back, some of you are gonna be able to bring it in. But it's all about just a little different shape happening into your hip, okay? So it's all about finding where you need to be, okay? And even if you can't lift like that, you might bring the leg just straight back and open up. So whatever works. Come back to center, extend the legs, gives it an easeful shake. And we'll go over to the other side. Again, you can crisscross the legs or drape the knees. And you're going to move this back leg's arm around to the other knee. Rotate back behind you. Remember. Be still, gently rock the legs. Returning to that side again, and move the heel closer to the buttocks, and maybe you're just going to open out like so. Okay, just a little bit. You're actually internally rotating that hip. Maybe you're going to be able to bring it back more, maybe you're going to be able to reach. So where do you need to be? Eventually letting that go. Legs forward, rock. And then preparing to move into corpse's pose. So you can use the blocks under your knees, one under each knee. You could put a couch pillow or a blanket under your knees to create ease. Or you could use the bolster under the knees. Some people use a bolster and their legs are off the ground, so they put blocks, whatever you want. And then just make your way down onto your back. Let your arms go out. Roll the shoulders down, and then start to be still. If you don't have any gear to help ease your back, another marvelous thing to do is to let your feet go wide and let your knees touch. And this is just, using your body as a prop. And this is really marvelous for the back. It helps it just kind of create some ease. Allowing your body to let go into gravity. The whole of you receiving the gifts of your practice with each breath. Feel the inhalation filling the body, fresh energy to revive you and prepare you for your day. And then allow the exhalations to let go of things that drag you down, the expectations, anything that's not serving you, any negative thinking, it's gone. And then let your next inhalations be just inhalations of positivity, connection with your intention, honing in with your spiritual being. As the thoughts rise up in the mind, let them pass. Just connect with your breath. I am all of this. There is many paths to truth, as there are heartbeats, leaves, fireflies in the summer twilight. Let me tell you of the path that's chosen me, the road that has drawn my feet forward, the way of my awakening. Defying easy definitions, it unfolds and I follow. With each step, I let in more of life. I expand into vastness. My reach exceeds my grasp until I hold to nothing solid. I include, widen, and grow deeper. This too is me, and this, and yes, even this. There's more emptiness and substance here. Not a single rule to live by. In place of form, there is an ecstatic dance with the boundless infinity of truth. There is freedom, stillness, song, and silence. Sustenance and the end of supplication. In place of seeking, there is finding without loss, and love without boundaries. There are no walls in this existence. Here is no difference, out or in. All that is radiates, quickens, awakens, fills, and empties in the same breath. And I know, beyond doubt, or any hesitation, that I am all of this. Adina Falls. Beginning to deepen your breath, calling your body back. Feel the sensations in the back of your body as you expand your ribs, slide the scapula out and in with the breath. Tune into the subtle urges calling for movement in the toes and the fingers, the wrists. What is your body calling for to help revive it? A long stretch, a hug of the knees, into the chest. What is happening for you? Hug those knees into your chest if you haven't, and repeat your name. And your intention as you roll over onto your right side. Allowing your hands to go down in front of your chest, right side to help you come to an easy seated pose. Take a moment to be still. Taking some deep inhalations. Filling the body. All that positivity. As you go through the day, any of the stuff that's not working for you today, just let it exhale out of you. Maybe you just try to let the positive thoughts keep coming at you all day. Simple things like, I've got this. And bring your hands heart-centered, holding gratitude for your body's efforts this morning, making its way to the mat and moving. Gratitude for the folks that gathered with us virtually. Uniting voices in the sound of Om across the airwaves. Take an inhale. Hariom Shanti, Shalom, peace. Namaste, the light of the honors, the light in you. Go in peace.